All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're taking a hard look at something that's probably sitting in your wallet right now. We're talking about rewards and cashback cards. We're going to decode what our source material calls the cashback illusion and really explore the high cost of these rewards. Now, if you've ever felt that little rush of dopamine when your points balance ticks up after a big shopping trip, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this one. Because it all boils down to this one fundamental question. Is your cashback card actually costing you money? I mean, we all absolutely love the idea of getting paid to spend. It feels like free money, right? Kind of feels like you're hacking the system. But as we dig into the research today, we really need to ask ourselves if this perceived benefit is just a giant distraction. Is it hiding a much, much bigger cost? Well, we're going to see how the math behind that winning feeling might not actually be working in our favor. Which brings us to Section 1, the setup, the promise of points. So these points programs are seamlessly woven into our daily lives, from the grocery store to airlines, and their appeal is just incredibly powerful. Why? Because they're meticulously designed to make you feel like you're getting a financial win. The whole pitch is super seductive. You get rewarded for the spending you're already doing anyway. It almost makes buying things feel, responsible. You buy groceries, boom, you earn a point. You fill up your gas tank, you get a percentage back. It gives you this sense that you're a really savvy, strategic shopper. But here's the catch. Our source material reveals that this exact feeling of being a smart shopper, that's exactly what sets the trap. Okay, moving on to Section 2, the turn, decoding the illusion. This is where we get into a phenomenon the research calls the cashback illusion. We're shifting away from viewing these programs as some generous corporate perk and instead looking at how they totally mess with human behavior. The cashback illusion is basically a dynamic or points programs literally trick consumers about their spending habits. And I really want to emphasize that word, trick. The source frames this whole reward structure not as a benefit, but as a deliberate trick played on us, the consumer. The illusion makes you feel like you're saving and earning, when the real underlying reality of your outgoing cash flow is a completely different story. It's honestly a brilliant sleight of hand. On the surface, what you see is your self-earning points. Your brain gets fixated on those tiny fractions of a cent, and honestly, it feels great. But beneath the surface, while you're completely distracted by those minor gains, the illusion is actively changing how much you buy in total. It lowers your natural resistance to spending because, you instantly justify the expense to yourself by saying, well, hey, I'm getting points for this, so it's totally fine. And that leads us to Section 3, the prestige, the 20% trap. So when we actually look at the hard data to see just how effective this illusion is at draining your wallet, we find the trap. 20%. Just let that number sink in for a second. The core finding here reveals a massive and frankly kind of shocking trap. These points programs successfully trick you into spending a staggering 20% more than you otherwise would. Seriously, think about your monthly budget. Imagine artificially inflating your discretionary spending by an entire fifth, all because the promise of a measly 1 or 2% return subconsciously gave your brain the green light to just keep swiping. You are trading a massive increase in actual spending for a tiny, fractional reward. When you compare your baseline, meaning what you would normally buy based purely on your needs without any of this gamification attached, to your spending under the influence of the cashback illusion, the gap is huge. And that gap represents the real money you are losing. Sure, you might be getting a tiny sliver of cash back, but you are paying out a significantly larger chunk of your real money just to get it. Now for Section 4, the takeaway, the high cost. Decoding this trick really forces us to completely rethink our everyday transactions. So to recap what the source material is telling us, these programs actively trick you. They create this psychological distraction, the cashback illusion, that basically shields your brain from the pain of paying. And because of that distraction, you end up spending 20% more overall. So the ultimate result is exactly what the title warns us about, a very high cost for these so-called rewards. The illusion directly manipulates your behavior, and it turns what looks like a perk into a genuine financial penalty. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one absolutely crucial thought. Knowing that this illusion effectively tricks you into spending 20% more, you have to ask yourself, who is really getting rewarded here? Is the points program actually designed to give you a helpful bonus? Or is it a highly engineered psychological tool designed to boost the bottom line of the companies offering it? The next time you reach for that cashback card to make an unplanned purchase, remember the 20% trap. See through the illusion and keep your hard-earned cash exactly where it belongs. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today.